Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of East Hampton Architectural Review Board meeting of August 25th, 2016. The minutes of August 11th will be approved at the next meeting. We're going to pass on that. We have no additional new business, and we'll go directly into Historic District and Landmarks for Alex von Hoffman, care of Dewey's Planning, Katie Osecki. Tax map number 300-172-10-23, Peter and Betsy. Where do you want to start?
I think I would like Katie to
Introduce yourself.
introduce herself, one.
Just for the record, just introduce yourself.
Katie Osecki.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. No problem. So there's a little bit of history that went along with the property. It started off as just an interior renovation, which it didn't have to go to the Architectural Review Board for. And then it spun off into demoing the wooden deck that was existing, and then doing some stuff in the side yard as well as the rear yard. We got a building permit when I was at LPS for doing all of that stuff just through the building department. I never got kicked back. We had no idea that there was a Bluff Road Historic District, and the building department didn't pick up on it either. Then there was another building permit that was to replace all the windows in kind. And then when Susan and I opened our own business, Dewey's Planning, the landscape architect had come to us and they wanted to do a deck. And that's when we realized there was a historic district, and now we're trying to correct those mistakes. So I'm here tonight for the historic district as well as a new gate. They want to do a 6-foot, that's later on in the agenda. But I tried to lay out as clearly as I could everything in red that I believe needs to go in front of you. There's a lot.
Why don't we take it one at a time?
Okay. So some of the work has been done. Some of it is kind of mid-construction, and some of it is still proposed. So do you want me to do what's been done, or any particular order?
Is there an application
Yes.
that lists? And
No,
maybe you
it's
could-
just the letter as an aside.
It didn't fit in the...
Okay, because I was going to
That's
suggest.
part of the
Yeah,
application
so I was
now,
going to suggest that you start
from that point.
from that point.
This survey is the pre-construction modification survey, so we can compare then the survey to the proposed plan.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is what it was exactly before. It actually, there's a lot of issues that sections of the patio weren't conforming, and they are making it all conforming now, just to point that out. So I guess we'll start with what has basically been completed. There was pre-existing fencing that has been there forever. We're still waiting.
Not forever.
Well, not forever, no.
Is that the fencing that runs along the front of the property that's placed on the town?
Yes, so we're still waiting to hear back from the highway department on that. I did reach out to them twice. I haven't heard back. So I did make a note in there that if you guys approve it and they approve it,
Well, we can't approve it until we hear from Steve
them.
Lynch or anything.
Okay,
We
so I
have
did ask
direction
for
from the highway
a
department.
letter, so I will definitely get that to you.
Yeah. This fence here is on Bluff Road.
Which one are we
beyond
talking
the
about?
property line.
So there's a fence here, and there's...
Okay.
It's clearer on the existing survey.
We see that?
Yes. And there's a lot of vegetation. I mean, you can't see the fence from the...
Right,
from the road.
it's a combination of privet and overgrowth and a few shrubs and trees, and the fence is pretty old, and
This is.
I don't think it's all that tall, right? Is it-
It's, I think it says it on the survey. I think it's at highest, it's 6 feet, I believe.
It says 6-foot wire fence is what it says in here.
So just for clarification, that fence was there prior to any of the construction?
Yes, it's,
And permits. And so the only thing that you're looking to do different on it is to move it back to make it in compliance. If you don't get permission, move it back to make it in compliance with the property lines.
correct.
You're not looking to alter it in any way.
No, it would just
So I
get...
don't know if it comes under ARB review, if it's allowed to stay by highway department. I don't believe it comes under a need for review, and I don't believe there is a need for ARB approval, because you're not looking for a building permit or a C of O for it, correct?
No.
Okay,
And it's pre-existing.
pre-existing, okay.
Mm,
All right,
okay.
I'm just trying to check these off.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. So that was one side of the fence, and then if you look at, we'll just go around the property, there is a 4-foot stockade fence, and then there's a 4-foot wire fence that's attached to it. So you keep going,
On the west side.
yes,
And again, that's pre-existing and you're not looking to make any changes?
no.
Well, it's 4 feet anyway, so.
Well, it's 4 foot, but there's a wire, the posts go up to 8 feet, and then there's wire strung
Okay.
along it.
And then as you continue, there's a 6-foot stockade fence. It's about 8 feet wire fence where the existing gate that goes from the fence back to the house, and they're planning on removing that.
That's this one.
Yes. And then-
Right, that's being removed, this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
And then along the back, there's an 8-foot wire fence, and then there's a 4-foot stockade fence.
Both of which are to remain.
Yes, everything, ideally everything, all the fencing would remain.
But wasn't there an issue with the fact that then it encloses the property?
If it's pre-existing and it is not in front of us because of any building permit, it's not an issue for ARB consideration.
Okay.
The next thing on here is there's 2 bluestone patios around the pool. Here and here, I think I have the dimension, it's 12 feet by 24 feet and 8 feet by 20 feet. So that falls under the ARB, and
And those have recently been changed, correct?
they've been completed. It's right around here and right around here, and that's one of it's now complying in terms of today's zoning codes.
see that?
So that would come under
That is.
ARB review.
The patio was the seating area for the patio was primarily on the east side, which was non-compliant.
See that?
And it's been moved now to the west side, right, to comply with the setback
Right.
requirement.
Before there was brick that was crumbling.
Right, this looks nice. Yeah. Okay.
The next,
Does the board want to discuss and approve each one separately? Or?
Well, that's an interesting question. Can I see the list? Should we? Probably would be easier for you if we actually took this one at a time and listed and discussed each one based on its own merits, rather than as a blanket approval.
Yes, it would, because it's
Okay.
going to be 2 separate resolutions.
Okay,
for them.
so,
Thank you.
since it's your case, you take it one at a time and let's discuss.
I started from going from the bottom up.
Right, I understand that, which unfortunately
It's what's
doesn't
been
help
done.
us. Do you want to start with the gate on the top and then we'll work down? Or do you want to start from the bottom and
Well,
work
the
backwards?
gate is a separate
Issue. it's
issue,
true.
so let's deal with the
Okay,
property
so
first.
then I tell you what, how about we number this? So each item as we go up to approve. This
Okay.
way Nora can keep track of
Right.
any specific item.
Okay,
And do you have another copy of this, because this will help you follow along with them? This is what we're working on.
That would be good.
Right?
That would be great if she could have that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Because then
okay.
you can number along that and make notes on that. if you
Chair,
want.
anything that's not going to be, we won't give a number to any item that doesn't need approval.
That's correct.
Okay, good. So no number.
Okay, the front yard, right, the fence, right,
Is dependent upon approvals from the.
right, so we have no comment
Trustee
on
Lynch.
that, right? The pre-existing fencing around the property
We have
doesn't
same
fall
thing.
under our purview. So the next is the 2 bluestone patios around the pool area, and I don't have an objection to it.
Okay, continue. So that is item number 3.
Right. Right. Mark this. This is 2, 3. Okay, retaining wall on the side yard leading to the back, 4 foot tall.
And that's an existing retaining wall?
They had put it in, yes.
That's not the answer to the question.
Yes, it is. I mean, it wasn't it wasn't there before. It is there now.
There are wood ties, there is a slope.
Actually,
Right.
here, you could look at this one.
But it's 4 feet.
Where is it on
On, right here. So it's,
Right.
it is,
It's in the back.
it is,
It's
it
back
just
there.
gets in the
So,
back.
so it goes across this way?
Yes.
I see that.
Are there steps there for pathway, or?
Yes,
Where are we looking at? Where?
right in here. So here's the pool,
Yep,
and here's the deck. So
Yeah.
there's a retaining wall right here and right
It's
here.
here?
It's 4
Okay.
feet. and it
So
goes down.
it's past here,
Oh,
it's
gotcha.
not within ARB. I mean, it is for ARB, not for historic. So if it
Right,
is
correct.
greater than any of the exceptions, and how tall is it?
4 feet.
4 feet.
So it does not require ARB approval under normal ARB approval, and because it's in the backyard, it doesn't require the historical review.
So I'd still number that number 4.
Well, you don't need approval on it, so I don't know if you want
I'm
to know
just,
it.
all right, we can do it that way.
Right.
Okay, then it won't
Okay,
be
the next is bluestone patio on the side yard by the pool connected to the house.
is that this?
That's right here.
Yeah,
That does require review.
It's here.
So there's the way the house works is there's a door right here, and then the deck, there's 2 steps down, so it's
Do we have a picture of that?
joining.
is there a picture of it?
Yes, I have a picture of that.
It's small and it doesn't really,
It's
It's-
very
yeah, it's-
unobtrusive
Yeah.
it's okay.
and really
Because
connects.
if you didn't have that there, you'd just be walking down into a lawn.
Yeah,
Right.
it's nice.
So I have no objection to it.
Okay, so that's item number 4.
Right. All right. 2 bluestone landings in the front of the house.
Those would not come under review as they are walkways
So, right,
Okay.
and are exempt from the historic review.
New Marvin windows on the existing structure.
to match.
Yes, and I included the window schedule in the application.
Right. The windows have all been replaced.
So those are the new ones.
Those are the new ones.
Same spots.
They're same
style.
spot.
Yep.
they're just replaced. I'm sure they were rotted out and
Comments?
no comment on it.
Next.
Well, windows would have to be approved or disapproved.
I suggest we approve it.
Second
We'll second the whole package afterward, but
Right.
let's do it uniquely. So that's item number,
it. 6.
6. All right, outdoor shower in the backyard connected to the existing retaining wall,
not under our
Not
purview.
under-
not us. All right. Back L-shaped deck, 480 square feet, surfaced in mahogany.
Okay.
This is a replacement of the existing deck, but it's slightly enlarged.
This side got a little bit bigger.
Right. We saw it in the picture, the previous picture.
Yes,
Any problem with that?
I don't have a problem
You
with
approve of
it.
that?
I approve. Suggest we approve that. Circular patio in the front yard near the pool to be surfaced in bluestone with planting around its circumference is 12 feet.
It's right here.
That's there.
Right. According to the survey, there is an existing
Stacked. right?
stacked stone wall, right, around that area, isn't it?
Yes.
Not, it's,
Is that staying?
No, that would be, it's gonna change the direction. So it's kind of like a U-shaped. And it's, the rock wall, it's just basically just gonna get
It's gonna
flipped.
be like a C-shape.
Got it, okay.
And then it's gonna get filled in.
You approve?
I approve.
Next. That is number 8.
That's number 9.
9,
Okay.
right. New parking spot,
It's not
right,
under ARB. Historic.
Next.
right. Post will, let's see, post will include, wait a minute,
But
post.
that falls under the
That's
gate.
the new front gate.
That's the gate.
That's the gate,
The
okay.
There we
gate comes
go.
under both aspects of ARB approval, both because it's a gate and also because it is a structure that's to be reviewed under the historical.
Correct.
The gate is indicated on the proposed plan.
Yep.
It's- The only thing, the drawings for the gate indicate that both the gate and the posts are 6 foot high. I would like you to mark there that it will be a minimum of 20 feet back from the road.
Okay.
I don't believe that that is,
And what's
Use
the
the
width
front
on the
gate.
gates, Peter?
Just notes at the meeting.
16, oh,
It is 16?
16.
Okay.
yeah.
20 feet back from the edge of the pavement, or,
A minimum
road?
of 20 feet.
A minimum of 20 feet back.
From the road back.
but you've got all this distance already.
I think it's actually 22 where it's marked on this survey, but
It actually is a bit of a dangerous intersection because
Right.
Bluff Road
Sign.
curves there, and because of the slope and the foliage, you really have to get your nose out to see what's coming each way. When I went to take the photographs, I had to be very careful.
Good.
And I believe that that was it.
And do you approve?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that is point number 10.
Yep,
11.
11.
From points 1 to 11, as indicated on Peter's addendum to the application and also on the drawing provided by Dewey's Planning, would you like to make a motion?
Make a motion, we approve those items which are under the ARB purview.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
For
you
the
very much.
record, if you don't mind, can I just go through this so that it's on the recorded record?
Sure.
And also for Nora. The first item approved are the two bluestone patios around the pool. The second item is the bluestone patio in the side yard by the pool connected to the house. The third one is the windows on the existing structure. The fourth one is the back L-shaped deck. The fifth one is the circular patio in the front yard near the pool. And the last one is the new front gate as indicated on the setback, indicated on the.
Is there an elevation of the gate?
What about the
She
windows?
just showed it to you.
I did
Do we have a copy of that?
yes,
You
two.
did?
Yes, it is.
Oh. Yes.
Okay,
Do you want one for the file?
Yeah,
sure, we'll
please.
keep that too.
Thank you.
I have one in mind, so I'm not sure.
For later on in the agenda, was that approved the regular fence too? Nora?
No, I think the fence comes
The
back
fence
up.
is separate.
The gate? Though,
So
sorry.
the gate hits, oh,
Is both, so should I stick around or?
Okay, where are you?
no, the motion
No.
covers both.
Both, it covers both?
Because
Yes.
it was on the record that it was for
Correct.
review for both, under the historical as well as ARB.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Keep
Katie.
your paperwork together separate from your paperwork.
Yes,
Keep
so
your
that everything's
paperwork.
right.
And thank you, really. Take your time.
Yep. All right.
Okay, for a business sign for Bluestone Lane, care of Hajack Land Planning, tax map number 300-49-04-02.
Evening,
Good evening. Just introduce yourself for the record.
Billy Hajack.
Great, Billy, thank you. Betsy's handling this.
So this was before us at the last meeting, and it was to approve the awning with color, which we did, but we wanted to know the exact dimension of the lettering on the two awnings for size approval. And they had also put in an application for a larger sign, but they took that back.
A hanging sign, which has been removed from the application.
Correct.
Great.
So this is the new proposal for the lettering, which I believe is in place currently.
Correct.
Great.
Okay?
5 square feet or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's it.
Yep, that's
Okay.
it.
Any
So I-
questions?
None for me.
Like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the lettering on the 2 blue awnings as per the drawing.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
East End Apparel, care of Manning VR, tax map number 300-147-04-34.1. Fences, walls, and berms, Salvatore Concu, tax map number 300-95-09-10. For Niles and Elena Brun, tax map number 300-103-05-28.1. That will be continued.
Right.
For Andrew and Catherine Sykes, tax map number 300-24-10-42.
Waiting on a survey on that.
Still having on this meeting?
For Rochelle Dobbs, care of Candace Dobbs, tax map number 300-9203-32.
Richard, we've had this,
Let's take this off.
yeah.
We'll be deleting the Dobbs from future agendas. John W. Haddon II and Amy B. Haddon, tax map number 300-149-01-15. And Betsy, how many times have we taken a look at that?
This is the third time.
It's more than the third
Okay,
time.
let's
It's at
delete
least
this
the
as well.
third time, yeah.
I don't believe that they have done anything to the property, but
Okay.
they haven't come before us to say that they are or aren't.
For Malachi Kelly, tax map number 300-23-05-28. How are you?
Hello.
Just introduce yourself for the record.
Sir, Malachi Kelly, 26 Orton,
Great.
East Hampton.
Malachi, how are you?
Doing well yourself.
Good. It's been a few weeks since we saw
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
This is a situation where the homeowners association in Lionhead had asked Mr. Kelly to put up a fence along the front of the property. There was a barking dog issue, I think, initially. Our concern was that the lot is pie-shaped. There's already 6-foot fence along a couple of the other perimeters.
Yes.
I believe one of the questions we had is the fencing along this side yours or the neighbors? And I think
I thought it was mine. My neighbor says they think it's theirs.
Okay.
I asked the surveyor, the property line, I guess, is shared. I don't know, I always assumed it was mine. It was
Okay.
there.
Is it on your property or
It's on the property line. I'm
on
not
the
sure how
property
they.
line?
I mean,
Which side is the
directly-
good wood?
the good side actually faces Mr.
My
Kelly.
right.
So I'm
Okay.
presuming it's the neighbor's
Then
fence.
The presumption then is the neighbors.
Yeah.
I asked them, and they said it was theirs.
Okay.
It comes along their front door looks right out to it,
Yep.
but
Okay, we're working with you. Go ahead.
I just want to point out, too, you may remember that there was a bunch of fencing of different types around the perimeter in question on the front row. There's some wire fencing, there's some split rail fencing, there's some bamboo fencing, there's some 8-foot deer
I put the
fencing.
bamboo to try and block the dogs.
Right, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
all right. So I think we gave you a couple of ideas about what you might do, and I think maybe, just pass these around, maybe have a look at,
So this was the bamboo.
yeah.
Correct. I had given Denise some pictures of what I had put up on the side, and I only have a couple.
Yeah, well, I've taken some of those pictures of that, we're talking about this fence that goes from your house to the road.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Very colorful.
It's the,
Yeah.
the front side of it, just to give an idea.
So this, I think, represents the type of fencing that you were looking to perhaps
Yes, sir.
install across the front of the pie, right? This kind of cedar fencing. Not stockade, it's,
Could I see the survey?
Yes.
Sorry. Thank you.
issue does that resolve?
Well, you had suggested taking some fence out, and I'm jumping ahead. What issue will the fence resolve?
This
Hopefully.
fence?
Well, I think that's the beginning of the fence that you're meant to put across the roadside.
That's correct.
So what are you proposing to do at this point?
You use this one.
To, on the street side, put fence right there. A lot of foot traffic.
Of what
and-
material?
This,
That will be a stockade.
I'm sorry?
Cedar?
That's
Cedar.
Yeah.
Richard, it's exactly like what's pictured there. Right? Flat-topped cedar fence.
Good.
It's fine.
And
How high?
it was 6 feet.
And did I understand you to say then you're thinking that you would remove some other 6-foot fencing?
It was suggested on the 14th when I was here to take some out for putting some in, to remove some. So there's some stockade here that I was going to take out on this side. Just trying to,
Right, well, this,
I need to have the difference between was and am.
I'm so,
I need to know the difference between I was going to or I am
well,
taking
my,
out.
and I'd written it out
this
and
help?
submitted it as, yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's the
fencing
side we're
that-
talking about.
That I suggested I would take out. I wrote it up and submitted it as,
Okay.
Do you want to see
Paper
this?
is that the paper that you gave to me?
But I thought that that showed the stockade with the other fencing.
Yeah, it,
We're not 100%.
We really are, and I'm still unclear as to where we're going.
We're 95%, right?
it's 6-foot fencing, however. Right, and he's allowed to have 6-foot fencing to the side and rear as much as he wants. Now, the issue that we have here is that, it's a really unusual lot.
Got a lot of road
frontage.
There's a lot of road frontage, and it's really difficult to really, sort of ascertain what's really front and back. I'm very familiar with this property. I actually would have no issue and would welcome the idea of having a fence along
Okay.
this side.
So the linear fence that you're suggesting is how many feet here?
125.
125. Do me a favor, Dave. What am I doing? 125 linear feet of cedar fencing, 6 feet tall. And then what?
There's this existing fence, which is the neighbor's
Okay,
on this side.
not to be considered.
And this
Now,
is, and you have a lot of landscaping actually on this side, right?
Yes.
And is that this picture?
No, that's actually on this side.
Okay.
Yeah, that's this
That-
side.
That's
That's this side back here.
Exactly.
So, and actually, so yeah, this actually shows the landscaping on the fence, in front of the neighbor's fence, right?
Okay,
Along this part. I think, given the situation, the unusual nature of the lot, the shape of the lot, and given the fact that we really would like to provide some screening here in the front.
what's happening here?
Can they landscape in?
There's nothing
do you have
here.
room to landscape
that's
in
good.
front of
Okay,
the?
so that's over.
Drive.
So basically, the
Proposed
fence
fence.
is here,
I
and this is not fenced.
This is his fence, he has fence here, the neighbor has fence here.
Correct.
Which is landscaped
Correct.
like this.
Right.
And we're looking to do this.
Which
right.
is the stockade fence?
Right.
Correct?
That's
Which is
Stockade,
this,
but it's close.
it's cedar, it's not
And
stockade.
I just said, do you have room in front of that faces the road to do landscaping in front of the stockade fence,
Good,
which would soften it?
It would soften it, it would.
good. Do you have room?
There's property out there, yeah.
Good, okay.
And there's already actually quite a bit of landscaping between, there's shrubbery and trees and so on.
Constantly
Yeah,
planting every spring.
between the roadbed and where this fence would
And
go.
what fences are you removing?
My,
This
I
just
have
this?
stockade, that goes from here, it goes all the way down.
Would you do me a favor and
There's a red pen.
There's red pen or
I
highlight.
drew it
Mark
on that
for me.
one. Just put it, 8
see here.
sections of it, about 80, well, not about 80
to remove
feet.
80 feet of stockade, which runs to the property line here?
No, sir. That, like, right where that.
From here to
line
here.
That line, correct.
That's what you're trying to remove, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
What's here?
Nothing.
nothing,
So there's nothing here?
no.
I thought the survey indicated something.
Just for clarification for the record, the fencing that he's proposing to remove is in what, is part of the front yard, part of the side yard?
Side.
Side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just look at this for a second. Are there other, where are the other photographs go?
So I'm suggesting to take down the stockade. I will have to replace it with a wire fence
For the pool?
for the pool.
4 feet.
Yeah, 4 foot for the
Yes.
pool. Yeah, that's fine.
And there
So
is.
the survey
range on it.
does show that there's fencing here, when you, as you can see, there's not.
There's the wire fencing, it's Priscilla's. It's not,
Okay.
and I don't know, it doesn't come all the way down though. It's like right back up here.
And after this 80 feet to the property line, what's happening here?
It's where I meet my neighbor's property. She has a pool on her side.
What's the height of this fence here?
It's 6-foot stockade.
Facing into your property or her property?
There again, that's another one that is on the property line.
But does the good side face you or the other neighbor?
The good side on that faces me.
Listen, it's a 6-foot fence, it's in his backyard, I don't think there's any issue with
Okay.
that.
So let's make a motion so nor it's clear when we actually go to write up this resolution. So facing Pond Lane will be a new 6-foot-high cedar fence, approximate length.
125.
125 feet.
The removal of 80 feet of stockade fence, is this the south
Yeah,
property line?
That would be the south, yeah.
that's north.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
north
yeah.
arrow.
So there's no fence
Wait a
from
second,
the
right.
street
To here. Oh, there's no
Oh.
fence here to here, and there's no fence here to here.
What do you think this is?
This is 80, this is 20.
Okay. There's no fence 20 feet from the east property line, from the road itself, from the road, the removal of 80 feet of stockade
To
on the
be-
south,
To be replaced by,
4-foot wire,
Yes, sir.
okay, connecting to existing stockade that is the neighbor's. What else?
That's it.
That's it. Like to make a motion to that effect?
Make a motion that we approve this amended proposal.
Okay, we have a second?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure.
And did you get the stockade to the front?
That's it.
Yeah, he did.
Cedar, yeah.
Cedar.
I'll give you all this.
Yeah. Can I have all that? Can I have that?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Was there some other, yeah, there we go.
All right, thanks again.
Sure enough.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, Matt. Timothy Burkell, care of Raymond Martinez, tax map number 300-197-07-2.6. You don't even have to sit down. Introduce yourself.
Thank you. Ramon Charles Martinez.
I want to personally thank you
Oh,
for complying so quickly and so nicely and so effectively. Matter of fact, so much so that your neighbor's putting their house up for sale, had an open house today.
I know, I saw,
So that,
I got up there.
that
believe
gate
it.
will eventually come down too. I haven't been able to print out.
So I have.
You have a shot from the
Nora
expert.
gave me approval to do this, so.
Print out, so I can bring it.
Chair, could you just have what this is an application for?
Yes, thank you. Okay.
So
This is to obtain approval for an existing
This
gate.
is the new gate.
Wow.
Sorry.
That was fast.
The original gate was 88 inches high. It's been reduced to 72 inches.
And the posts have as
The
well.
pillars went from 94 inches to 72 inches. Thank you for printing it out, and that matches what I have.
And then we also did, just if you needed it, was the schematics for this too?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you all need one?
No.
Okay. I'll give you a copy.
Thank you.
I have one slight question. You left the 8-foot stanchions next to the gate.
Right.
For the fence. Can they be cut down to 6 feet?
The stanchions next to
Yeah,
those?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. It'll be neater. And then the only other question I have is you have the lighting up at about 10 feet on a pole attached to a tree
Well, it's not, no, it's actually,
on the right side.
yeah, it's not attracted, it's not, unless that's the existing one that was there, the one that
It's an old one. It was
The
there
old one.
before. It's not what we were talking about before. I just happened to notice it. It's about 10 feet up. It's 2 little lights that are pointing down, and it's probably just triggered by motion.
Well, it doesn't even work.
Fine.
I mean, yeah, I thought that was taken out. That's.
Okay, if
that
you
was a
remove
whole-
that, that would be great.
Okay, so just to
That's
be clear. So we're gonna cut down the 2 posts
And remove the
and
pole
remove
lighting that's up about 10 feet with the 2 lights on.
old lighting.
And I really do thank you for complying so quickly. So I'd like to make a motion to approve this as corrected or as amended.
Second.
We have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Nice job.
so real quick, what's next?
What's next?
Do I have to come back in 2 weeks and do this again, or?
Nope, you're done.
Okay,
Well, he has to get the C of O.
so
That-
then,
that's
then the
correct.
other was the application that you gave, that was the second part to do, which was
No, you only have one.
this.
He's
this-
talking about the CO. That's the
This-
CO application.
Yes, so I fill this out next?
Fill that out, and there is unfortunately a fee
Yes.
attached. Give that, and then it'll get on the
I can bring
agenda.
this tomorrow?
You come back and you see me in the office.
Tomorrow?
You can come back to me.
It'll get on an agenda, but since it's already been pre-built, it's your choice. You can come back and appear on that date, but it's not necessary for you.
You don't have to appear.
Okay,
It'll just go through automatically
so that'll be in 2 weeks?
in the next meeting, that's correct.
Then the certificate? Or is this the certificate?
Takes a week to 10 days.
Got it. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Sure.
Thank you.
Andrew Tajani, care of David M. Kurtz, tax map number 300-80-10-07. Takamura Ikageshi, tax map number 300-63-02-14.28. Pronounce your name for me, please.
Fabian Rios. I'm
Okay.
here to represent him because he's got an illness that with his wife and he's not able to come. So I was wondering if there was
All right, Peter.
something to do about it.
This is an application for a gate, I'm sorry, not a gate, a fence in the front yard. And where's my photograph? I'm sorry, we can't approve this. First of all, the fence is 8 foot high. Right.
Is there any way we can bring it down to 6 feet?
You
and
could
then
bring
do
it down to 6 feet, but that's only the beginning of some problems,
Okay,
right? The survey, right, needs to be updated because the survey is from 2008.
okay,
All right, that's one thing. The other thing is that the property is now virtually 100% enclosed.
oh, the back of it is because of the pool, he's got the chain link fence all the way around. Is there a way we can, bring it in the back side of it?
Well,
And just keep the chain link, move it back?
I wasn't able to walk through all the back, but I think the back is at 8 foot also,
No,
no?
it's chain linked, it's because he's got the pool.
What's the height?
For code, it's 5 feet.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Well,
The 8 foot, it goes from the front of the house, and then it goes around, you see the survey?
this is the survey.
Yeah, okay. Here's the survey. You see, the deer fence, it goes from this end all the way up to here, and it comes over here. That's
Right.
it. And then here, from here back, he's got a white fence. I think
picket
this is
fence.
6 foot.
Yeah.
Up to here, and from here, it goes all the way around. It's the chain linked 5 foot.
Okay. I'd like an updated survey that indicates that.
Okay.
One, and I would like the front fence to be reduced to 6 feet,
To 6 feet. Okay.
okay?
All right.
And when you bring that back, we can,
Okay.
Are there any gates to get off this property?
I didn't,
There is a gate right here in the front.
No, in the back, from the rear of the house.
From the rear of the house.
So that they safely can remove themselves from the property from the rear in
Oh,
case
yeah.
of emergency.
We have a double gate here, and there's a single gate here.
But that's enclosed by a 5-foot fence over here. Are there any gates along the property line?
There is one here that's open, a gate over here. You mean
Okay,
to
well,
access this?
we'll be able to see that on the new survey.
On the
So
new
that's-
Okay.
survey.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
new survey, and then the front cut down to 6. Okay.
You got it.
Thank
You need that.
You need this one?
You bet. Thank you very much.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Do you have pictures of that, Peter? Out of curiosity. And you're okay with the 6 feet in the front?
And this is 8 feet, right?
Yeah.
For Allison Kessler, tax map number 300-23-01-07. That's a shame, because that's got real problems with it. For Martin Atkin,
that's why they didn't,
they're not here. For PNB Industries, Benco Construction, tax map number 300-83-04-22.
Good, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Patrick Mentefagner, Benco
Thank you,
Construction.
Patrick. Ed,
Yes, so, this, pardon me?
Your pictures or you need?
I do have some, thank you, yeah, but maybe you want to pass yours to that side of the table. This is an application in front of us for a 14-foot screen attached to the house with a gate, rolling gate on it, and as well as a deer fence on 2 property lines. And I am kind of wondering why you're in front of us.
Well,
Let me just continue if I may. The deer fence is,
it's just this, yeah.
there's not a notation here that actually specifically calls out the amount of coverage, but it's pretty clearly less than 50%. What's going on this property line?
There's existing, we have a 4-foot pool fence, or 4.5-foot pool fence here in front of, for our property line, and the existing, this neighbor has an existing 6-foot, I believe, or 6.5-foot fence on that property.
For the record, can I just make sure all the conditions meet that which would take it out of ARB? Is that what you want to do on that? The deer-
not yet. He's going to let him explain.
Well, yeah, I just wanted
That's
to
good.
understand
Yeah.
if
You're on a
in
roll.
fact there was 8-foot deer fencing
there's-
on the property, on 2 property lines. And it
No.
looks like there's literally, there's deer fencing on 1 property line at the moment, right?
Yes.
It appears as though it's also less than 50% coverage with the deer fence.
Correct.
So he's
Okay.
proposing a new section of deer fence?
No,
Okay,
I'm not, which is why I'm not clear about why we're looking at the deer fence.
okay.
I
I
was
thought
told,
maybe there was something that
I was told from the building department, because I had to come here.
yes, no,
How
it's,
tall
yeah,
is
it's not, you know.
How tall is it?
It's 8
That's 8
feet.
foot.
Okay, but it's in the backyard,
It's in the back.
Yes.
okay? And it's out of deer fencing?
It's agricultural.
Okay, it's agricultural, and it's got metal poles?
Yes.
It has metal poles.
Okay, all right. It seems to be that that would be exempt.
Okay.
And so is the question,
Yes, and unfortunately, this is not something that we can take up. I totally understand what you were going for with this screening. I think it's a really interesting kind of, volume that kind of adds to the house. I would say that it's part of the house, that it's not sort of a wall or a screen per se. But we do not have the authority to rule on anything higher than 10 feet.
So
You know-
who do I have to go to?
So I think
this-
you need to go back to the building department.
They're the one that told me to come here.
Well,
Well, there's another choice also, you can go to the ZBA and ask for a variance on it too. Why would building tell them to,
John
because-
told me,
Because building is, maybe covering that it's a wall and not realizing that that would be higher than anything
All right, I can-
ARB could approve.
Yeah, I can-
But I would suggest that, this board send it back to building department and ask them to reconsider whether or not it's a part of this actual residential structure, the primary structure, and if that's the case, it's not a separate thing to be approved by ARB. If they still say it is a separate structure that needs separate permit approval, C of O, such that it needs ARB approval, then they should so direct the applicant to file with the ZBA for variance from the code, so that he could ask, first you'd have to get approval from ZBA for a wall that height, and then you'd come back here for approval of it.
So are you suggesting then that we send this to building?
That Nora explained, perhaps can communicate to the building why we're returning it to them, and whether they want to reconsider it as part of the structure, or if they are recommending that he apply to ZBA for a variance.
is that ambiguously clear to you?
yeah, no, I understand that. I was just gonna say, John and Ann told me to come here because they consider it a fence.
Well, if
I
they
need-
consider it a
It's actually
fence.
a wall, it's not a
It's really a wall, and it was approved originally on the original plans submitted, but because of the new regime inside, they said, it wouldn't have been approved this time, so
It's,
let's go with it. I
never-
come here for the deer fence anyway. They said, why don't you just put it on the application at the same time?
So
if you
Nora can
explain
ask
to
them to
then it's not a big
reconsider,
deal.
and
Yeah.
if they
Okay.
choose not to, then it would go to ZBA.
That's great. Thank you very much.
All right, so you'll speak to the building?
Can I have those pictures to bring to them? Thank you.
Yes, you can.
That's
We
great.
have one of the smaller ones that showed in relation to the house.
You have the plans and everything too, right? You don't need anything?
we do have the plans.
do.
Yes, thank you.
So how long does that usually take before you speak to them? And I'll get an answer back what I have to do, just so I have an idea. Should I speak to them
I would
next
say
week?
next week I probably will get an answer
I'll
back.
speak to John next week or so.
Great.
I
Thank you very much. Sure.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yep.
We put all this together.
No, hang on to your stuff. That way it's all gonna be all in your folder. Thank you.
On a commercial site for South Fork Country Club, for Britton Bistrian, tax map number 300-150-03-.1.
Play secretary for you,
No,
put
it's
an
okay.
order for you.
That's all right. I'll do it. But thank you.
Good
evening, Britton Bistrian, the applicant, South Fork Country Club.
Welcome. Peter?
Britain,
I'd also like to note that I do have the architect, Richard Checkman, here with me. He is on
You can
crutches.
come up here. Oh, well, you don't have to.
So
Hello.
it's okay.
Welcome.
if there's specific architectural questions, I would offer his expertise. Otherwise, I will pinch hit.
Great.
We'd reviewed this previously, and I had asked for clarification for the modifications and additions that you were providing for the country club clubhouse building itself, which you have done. Thank you very much. I don't have a problem with that.
Can I interrupt and just get what the application is for?
The application is for a modification to the clubhouse building and modification to the vehicular building.
Cart barn.
For
It
the
was a
cart barn.
planning board application that came in front of this board, and we went back to the planning board. The planning board approval, I believe, was about 2 years old, went back for a modification. So this is a modification to the board's original planning, commercial site plan application.
We've seen this before.
Change the exterior.
Correct.
From the information that you provided, I can't find the 144 square foot cart barn addition.
That 100, it's the way that it was written, it's a cumulative square footage of changes that were made. That was the original application. It involved concrete slabs, stairways, and walkways that were different from our original planning board approval. So to have the two board approvals match, I needed to identify that. I don't know if that's something that you would usually get all that involved in, a concrete slab that leads up to a golf cart barn. But
So-
it changed from the original approval, so I had
That's
to.
part of
note
the
it.
792, the original 792 square feet that was?
Addition.
Okay.
So that was an
Okay,
actual
that's clear.
physical heated addition, and this was a on-the-ground concrete addition.
Okay.
The modifications to that specific portion of the project are limited to a stairway and concrete finishes
Okay.
at grade.
I couldn't find it on any of the information that you provided. Could you
let's
show me
sure.
where it is?
Yep. Do you have the survey?
Yes.
That's not the survey. I've never seen that one.
What was submitted?
Ann Sherry is not the architect on this project. I don't, that's possibly, that was the original submittal from 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
I wasn't involved in that. So this cart barn right here, this is, just to orient everybody, this is the Long Island Railroad, this is Old Stone,
Why is
Springs
this
Road.
mismarked?
what's mismarked?
Isn't this Old Stone Highway?
Yes, the original name of that is Amagansett Springs Road.
Oh.
It has 2 names. That's the old school name. So this cart barn existed. The planning board approval was for this addition here, the
Right.
bag room. This concrete slab was not included in the, so the bag room was something this board reviewed and approved. This concrete slab right here was not part of that approval. It just made it so that you could drive a golf cart into that area.
So it's.
Right here.
It's that slab.
Correct. It rose to the occasion that I needed to modify my planning board approval, so I just wanted to have the approvals be
Got it.
consistent.
That slab. Okay.
Nice to see you. Go ahead, make a motion
I make a motion that we approve the application
as presented.
as presented.
We have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thanks, Britton.
This is yours.
This back here. You can keep the other as a souvenir.
What's the date on that one? The old one? that you
Let me
said?
dip my pen. Now,
Is this yours?
yeah, there you go.
Is it dated?
Why are you all for C of O?
Okay.
Corey, you're not gonna like it.
6/16/16.
Let's do the first one.
Yeah. Okay. Why are you here?
Odd.
C of O,
She
okay.
said it was 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, no, the old one she was talking about,
This
Peter.
is the new one.
Right, but the old one that she said, I was curious
I
what the
couldn't hear
date
you.
was.
a new guy in town learning how
13.
things work.
Welcome.
Glutton for punishment.
You might want to circle that,
Okay, for an issuance of a certificate of occupancy,
just so they don't get confused with it.
let's do Corey's here. Corey, I'll talk directly to you. One of the things that I had requested originally was to reduce the lighting by 50%. There's more lighting now than there was before, plus none of it is compliant to dark sky. They're just bulbs that are out there. If we took a look at the original photographs that we
Why
took.
why don't you come on up, again? Could you,
Okay.
the tax map number,
Yeah,
so that.
let me do the whole
especially
thing,
since we're
Claire.
out of order.
Okay, great. Okay, sit down, relax, please. There are a couple of certificate of occupancies that are involved here. The tax map number 300-186-01-8.5.
What happened to,
I'll get to that after
Okay.
Corey's here, so let's do it.
right,
If we go back to the first resolution, which was written on April 28th, I had asked you to reduce the lighting fixtures by 50% in the rear and eliminate the portico lamp shining at a high elevation at the eastern property line. Do you recall that?
No, I
Okay.
recall you having a I
Okay.
recall. in
At
one-
that time, all you had were the, going back, this is what we were looking at.
Right, but there were no fixtures up. in
That's
the back.
correct.
But the lighting was, all
And
the
I asked
lighting
you to
was.
reduce it by 50%, and instead,
I actually don't ever,
I don't think
you
so.
actually, just so we're clear, and we can go
Sure.
to the videotape if we need to, you may have had that conversation with Barry Block, but when we sat in the meeting here, you actually never brought it up. Because when Barry Block had that
okay, I'm going to
conversation
go
with
back
him.
over it then and be
Okay.
very specific to you.
Because this was
I went
when
out
we were
there
there
initially, I'll do this,
last
I'll
week,
do
though.
this, I'll do this. I went out there because it's on an agricultural overlay. You have 5 lights of incandescent bulbs. Some of them have 2 bulbs per fixture facing out onto the ag overlay. Is that acceptable?
Can I speak on that? Because
Sure.
actually, the 1, 2, 3 that are the big ones that go right over each of these, they point directly downward.
No, they
have
don't.
a
They're
canopy?
bulbs. I have a picture of it
Okay, they have
for
a
you.
canopy, and there's one single light.
There's no
it's
protection
the
of those
same-
lights. Those lights hang below the canopy of the fixture itself.
Okay, but they're not pointing outward, is what
They
made
are
it sound
not
like.
dark
or-
sky compliant.
Okay.
They're,
I don't know what even that means, so.
okay, then find out, because you're going to need to be able to change those. Because this is not acceptable, looking at that from an ag overlay standpoint. That's a stable back there. That is a beautiful piece of property.
Sir, can I ask a
And-
question?
Sure.
I think this
You were
is,
at the house 2 weeks ago,
yeah, why hasn't
and you
this?
said to me 2 weeks ago,
I couldn't make a comment at that point. You haven't finished your work. Now you've finished your work. Now you're asking for your C of O. I can't grant it based on that. I also can't grant it based on the additional lights that you've added over here, on this side too. All of this
from
is
what
new
I
to me.
understand, the light on the side of the house is required
It
by
is,
law.
it is, but it's not dark sky compliant. These lights are pointing out at your neighbor.
The one on the top, the motion sensor one.
Actually, both, even though, this one here. I don't understand
single little
why your
bulb next to
contractor
the
would have
house.
even put something on like that. They have to be pointing downward.
Downward and covered, is that what it needs to be? So I'm clear?
I don't know what your word covered is.
Well, I mean, so you
Take
can't
a
see
look.
any part of the bulb,
Okay.
is I guess what I'm asking.
This bulb is shining at your neighbors. I wouldn't want it, I don't think you'd want it either. So in some way, shield that bulb.
So faint. I wish you would come by at night and take a
I
look,
could- 'cause, you know, I've been by it so many times, okay.
but not at night.
I
It's
have
very
another
dim in
question
the
for you
back.
too.
I just need, before we leave this subject, I just need to understand.
I need you to reduce the lighting in the rear by 50%. How would you like to do it?
You tell me how you'd like me to do it.
No, I can't do that. I asked you to do it. You
Well,
need
here,
to do
let me
it.
ask you a question,
Sure.
because these, legally, I understand it, that every doorway exiting needs to have a light next to it, correct?
That's correct, but you have two.
Okay, so taking one of those out is fine?
That would work. That
Okay.
would help me.
Just because
And a fixture that is, with the lighting that is covered.
responsible for doing all of this.
As you said, covered, I agree with your word, so that it's downward pointing, so that it's not pointing out toward your neighbors.
Okay, so that is downward. I'm just trying to be clear. The bulb is downward.
And shielded, okay.
But it needs to have a
shielded.
cover over it.
It does. This is not dark sky
Explain
compliant.
to me what shielded
That-
means.
Do we have a tear sheet that we can provide?
Because
far as lighting is
we worked with a
concerned.
local electrician, we worked with Southampton
But I don't
Lighting.
understand why a local electrician would put
We got a
something
different
up
site, actually, a different
as
picture.
obnoxious as this. I really mean that. I was absolutely floored to see this, and so surprised to see all of this.
And I'd like you to check the minutes of our prior meeting, because in no meeting did you ask me to reduce any lighting whatsoever, because I have an 80-year-old aunt who's going to be living in that house, and I do need ample lighting for her to be able to come into a door, to be able to see what's
Walk out
going
the
on,
back
come off
door.
the
It's not
driveway.
bright at all. The lights that are out there are not
Look at
bright.
all these lights. Look at all these lights. I
I
think
s-
that,
I see that
I
you're
think
seeing
that you can
pictures,
see,
but the
the
lights,
horses
when you
can
turn
see
them on-
these.
I'm happy to take a picture of the lights or have you come out.
I
when
will
it's
tell
dark so
you
can
that-
Here, I
actually
can
see.
give a definition of a fully shielded light fixture.
Okay, if you would.
A light fixture that's fully shielded is a light fixture with an opaque shield above the light source so that, as designed and installed, the light fixture projects all its light below the horizontal plane.
Okay.
Full cutoff fixtures are considered fully shielded.
Okay,
So
so
can I
when a
ask you a
light
question?
fixture has something over the top, Ms. Dale, over the top, is that not shielded?
It has to be so that when it is installed, the light projects all its light below the horizontal plane. So the horizontal plane,
Can I ask
You don't
you
see it at eye level.
explain to me how this doesn't meet that?
So it only shines down in a spotlight, is that what you're saying? It's very confusing, I'm sorry to be.
There's
but I
actually
wanna be the
in-
one
in-
changing it, I need to understand.
I've
what
never
you're
seen
saying.
a fixture of this type on a residence before, ever.
Which is amazing, because it's
Because
the
those
exact
are-
same fixture that we had on the residence when we lived exactly next door.
And it's a very
30.
nautical looking
there is
fixture. It's an
if you're looking for a
old-fashioned
definition of
nautical
horizontal
fixture.
plane, if you look in the code, I don't have a copy with me now, but there's an appendix, and there actually is a figure in the appendix that will show you how to figure out what the horizontal plane is, so that you can make sure that the light is fully shielded.
Horizontal plane.
Why do you have this
Rather
one
than
fixture over
us-
here with the two bulbs that are just totally fully exposed?
Oh, that's because it's over the barbecue.
And do you realize how far that is from where the horses are?
But if you sit, if you actually
I
sit,
have to
if
look
you go,
Very faint light.
the.
There's
if you
not
go to the
one light.
pool, if you go to the pool,
It barely even lights up our patio, which I know you don't have a picture of here, but if you look
Okay.
on there, it barely lights up the patio, let alone anything beyond the patio, which is then a pool, which is then a
which
huge
is
amount
right,
of land
grass
beyond it.
offset, pool,
So
and
to
then
say it's
another half
disturbing
of
any sort of
my
anything
property.
behind us is really interesting.
And I would like to know the definition of a horizontal plane. We could pull it up by the computer now, because I will tell you if you,
It's in our code that it
well, but I
horizontal.
don't want to have to wait another 2 weeks.
Well, I'm
If
sorry, I
it's-
don't
you have
have
a different-
that
you have another
special
problem,
section of the
too.
code with me.
Okay,
You
I'm still
now
not
have
sure how to
a
fix this problem.
fence.
That's not mine.
that's not our fence.
That
Our
is
neighbor
not
put
your
that up this
fence.
week.
Yeah, that went up yesterday.
I was mortified by it. I could show you the emails that I received from Barry Block saying your neighbor put up a huge fence.
It is horrific.
It is horrific, I agree 100%.
I agree.
But I can't say anything to do with it because I had nothing to do with it. Here's the text from Barry Block.
So that's why the good side is facing your property.
Yep.
Here's the text from
I guess
Barry Block,
That's nice of her to do that, but that's what she did.
who sent me a message. Your neighbors put up a huge non-legal fence
About
over
8
the
feet
allowable
as far
height,
as we
8
can
foot
tell,
tall, it
'cause
looks
he's
like.
6 feet and he just went and.
Okay.
8 feet.
I can't, I have nothing to do with that.
To get us back focused, the
Yeah.
concern is that the lighting is not consistent with what was approved, so that for clarification, you're looking for a reduction in, 50% reduction in the current lighting, and so that all the fixtures
50%.
are
have a light over every door.
fully shielded. Is that correct, Chair?
I have a light over
Correct.
every door.
Well said.
And it was, and I'd like to check the minutes from our prior meetings, because there was absolutely no mention of reducing the lighting. I would have easily done something.
Board recommended
We
reducing the
certainly
lighting
wouldn't have
fixtures
ordered all
by
these
50% in the
fixtures.
rear and eliminating the portico lamp shining at a high elevation. And I remember
The
speaking
portico
to that.
lamp.
The lamp that you had underneath the portico?
Oh, I don't have it.
That's correct.
Right.
So that's gone, but the other lighting is still there. Plus
So
the fact you
that
added 2
counts as
additional
one?
lights for the barbecue. All I'm asking you is reduce the lighting, change the fixtures. You're done. It happens to look wonderful. I walked onto that property today. The landscaping is exactly as you said it was going to be. It's wonderful. The house looks
Thank you.
terrific.
May I see
Great
your picture for
improvements.
one more second, though?
I think, just to clarify the 50% reduction, I think, because I think you're thinking number of fixtures, and that's really not what you're saying.
Yes, can you
right?
clarify that for
Right.
me?
Lost it, okay. I think that's the fence.
Are we
I'm
talking
just
about
thinking,
the
how am I
50%
reducing it? 'Cause I have
reduction
a
in the illumination?
I believe that's what Richard,
No, it's not clear.
Lights are for, I have a light, I'm told by code I need to have a light by every door entrance. I have a light
I
over
want to
every
make sure
door
that he's
entrance.
clear about that.
Yeah.
I have one,
So if
it's
I
a
take
single
off-
bulb that's 60 watts. It's a single 60-watt
Okay,
bulb.
which we wouldn't give you anyway.
What's
We'd
that?
give you 40.
I don't understand what you mean by shielded. It needs to,
Shielded is that it does not, it does not, it projects all its light below the horizontal plane.
and the horizontal plane of the light.
Horizontal
That means the
plane
bottom of
is
the light,
a-
I assume.
A recessed fixture like this.
Yeah.
Right,
Pointing
where
downward.
if you're looking at it this way, you don't see the light. What you're seeing is
I understand.
the light,
Illumination.
The illumination.
the illumination
Okay.
on it. You're not seeing the bulb. Just having something on top of it covered is not shielded,
Okay.
right?
But I'm
You
clear-
understand now?
Yes, but now what I need specifically to know, so that when I leave here, I'm clear as to what I'm doing, is how to, what does it mean when you say reduce by 50%? Does that mean the number of fixtures, the brightness, the?
I think if they're shielded fixtures, we're
Right.
good.
I wouldn't have a
Fully-
problem with it. I think
They're
that you
fully
have
shielded fixtures.
additional lighting that you just don't need to have. So we're talking about 2 parts of the word.
Okay.
This is too much lighting, it's just excessive.
It actually, may I just say something to you? When you come off the driveway,
This is excessive.
when you come off the
2 lights
driveway,
next to,
You just don't need it. There's just too much light on the house. Why do you need so much light?
when you come off the
You're on a
driveway,
reserve
when you come
area.
off,
It's
when you
really
come
not
off
very
the
dim,
driveway,
it's not,
when you come off the driveway.
I wish you would come
It
and
actually is
see it at night.
unsafe if you use that side entrance. If you come at night and you go to that light and that light is on, it's not enough to illuminate from the
Yeah, how
But
do
it
you
metal
happens to
control
be
that?
facing directly into your other neighbor's house.
And
And the
So I
the
could,
foliage that you have there, it's going to be bare during the winter. All they're going to need to see is the brightness of the bulbs. And you also said 60 watts, 40 watts is what we
I don't even
require.
know what's in there, to be
Okay.
honest, but.
Okay.
40 watts, it's easy to change a light bulb. That I have no problem with.
Okay.
We're
So,
talking about
we're
thousands of
talking
dollars
about
worth of
2
fixtures
different
that
ways
should
of
go
looking at
away.
50% reduction. 50% reduction in light, give me 40 watts maximum on your bulbs.
Perfect.
Secondly, reduce the number of fixtures by 50% around the back of the house.
Well, that's decreasing my lighting by 75%.
So can I just ask you,
Well,
clarify that?
you
one?
shouldn't be up that high in the first place, so that's not my problem.
If
And
I
I need-
take, specifically, if I take one off of here, right, and leave one next to Nancy's door coming out, because that clearly has to stay there, and I have there's 3 doors here, so over the 3 doors, and I take away this one that's over the extra window here?
That's good.
Because that's 1, 2, 3 bulbs, leaving the rest. Is that
Okay,
enough?
and,
That's what I'm
and replace the fixture that you have over the barbecue, where you have 2 bare bulbs.
She
I
says
was
you
gonna
take
say,
it off.
what if I take that off completely?
I would think that would be wonderful.
Okay, so I just want to be clear, so when I come back here, because we've been
That's
here
not a
so
problem.
much, no offense, I love you, I'm sure, on another note, but not right now. This one's coming off, these can stay,
But they need to have a different kind of,
and I'm removing one next to Nancy's
Correct.
door.
They need to be covered. They need to be
I
dark
underst-
sky
I
compliant.
got what you're saying with that
That's the easiest
part.
word to use.
Okay. But as far as the number, only because I have an electrician coming next week, and I'm gonna have to scrape
And
my
I'm
little
happy to
booty
come back
get
out
all
again and take a look at
this.
it.
And the code does not identify dark sky, but it does say fully shielded, which will give you a dark sky. So if they are fully shielded, you will comply with the dark sky, because they will will not illuminate up, it will only illuminate down.
Okay, so essentially.
That's because of light
The light bulb is
patterns, too.
inside the fixture.
Birds, and
Is that,
it's
for a
about
no-brainer?
light patterns
The
in
light bulb is
nature.
inside.
Right, and stars, I didn't sense that, I was told it's
Right.
stargazers, and we specifically, here's the frustrating part of this. We specifically, because when we originally started this, we actually thought that we thought were able to put lights on the trees so we could shine on the lawn, and our electrician said, no, nothing above 8 feet above grade, nothing above, and you have to have, and everybody approved this stuff. So we were cognizant that there are rules that why we can't do uplighting underneath our, because in our house,
We have no
in
lights
our
by
main
the pool,
house.
nothing.
At our main house where we live, we have uplighting underneath the trees, it's very pretty. That was our initial vision, and we were told under no uncertain terms by our electrician, no, you can't do that, you can't put a light on the tree, you can't do a lot of things.
Just a question for you. That stockade fence, she has the first 12 feet are like maybe 4 feet, then it goes to
Yeah.
8 feet for.
Those have been there a while,
balance.
the beginning of it.
Yes, they were there. Our definition of an 8-foot fence in the front yard is not permitted. I don't know how we can call that the front yard. I don't know where the front yard facing the street is.
Hers isn't facing Sarah's path.
Yeah, probably is. So
Yeah.
there's some
It's technically her
problem
backyard,
to
I
bring
guess.
that into code. It's not nice of her.
She's not a terribly nice lady,
Well, okay.
but you know what? Big fences
Chair, we
make good
really should
neighbors.
kind of stay with the issue.
Okay. All right, thank you very
The
much.
lighting is it.
Yep, that's it.
So
That's
you're,
all.
you're choosing
So we're
to
sick-
reduce by number of
We're
fixtures.
taking
and
the
wattage.
2 off
I
by the
just wanna be
barbecue
specific
and
so
1
I
off
don't-
next to the door.
Right.
It's so costly for
And
us
one-
to do these changes. I don't want to be here again and have to redo them and have an electrician again, et cetera.
We have
We
a
can
deer.
appreciate that. Okay, so let's talk about this. So the meeting is on September 8th.
The tags.
I won't be here, I'm traveling.
Okay, we don't need you.
Dennis, no, no.
I'll come out and take a look at it.
Come take a look.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
really wish
Sure.
I had had some indication since both of you gentlemen were at the house last
Can we
week.
call the next item, please?
We have to go back to the first two.
Right.
Patience of the saints.
Right. Albury LLC, tax map number 300-189-01-07, Peter.
I don't know why this is asking for a certificate of occupancy. No work has been done on the site. Fence isn't there, the gate isn't there. So, no.
For Ralph Gibson, tax map number 300-74-06-07, Ed Joyce.
We considered this last meeting, and I'm wondering what happened. I don't remember, because I thought, we looked at, I know what it was the 8-foot arbors over the
Right,
two fences.
correct. Okay, so I think that we all concur that
The
this.
8-foot arbor is fine, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, I move that we direct secretary to send a letter to the building department indicating that this property is ready for a certificate of occupancy.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For Lawrence Rubenstein, tax map number 300-80-10-01, Peter. That's you.
Who was the gentleman that just got up and walked out? Does
He is
anybody
a
know?
recent reporter who just moved here, I believe.
Come on up. Join us. You've been very patient. Just introduce yourself if you would.
Larry,
He wasn't
listed as Lawrence.
Thank you very much.
Got managed out.
All right. I don't understand why you're not complying with the conditions of the permit. The gate was supposed to be 6 foot. The posts are supposed to be 6 foot. The gate is 6'6". The posts are 6'8". And the posts around your fence are 8 foot.
I had, the fence itself, the gate is 6 foot. There's
But
a few
it is-
inches underneath it.
It is
and
supposed to be 6 feet off the ground.
I had Craftsman Fence do this, it cost me
Yeah,
$15,000, and they told me this is what is compliant.
It
and
is not.
they've done this, so the fence itself was, the gate itself was 6 foot, and they said that was fine.
No, it is not fine. It
According-
is 6 foot off the ground from grade.
Height limits, let me just, to tell you the code. Height limits, the height of whether a fence, wall, or gate shall be the vertical distance from any point on the top to the existing natural grade at the base, at that point,
Because
so.
I specifically talked to the contractor
I'm
about
sorry.
this.
And the posts are even taller than the gate.
Is there a grade there?
No, it's flat.
I think it's, so it's 5, 6 inches below. This is the one that was approved, and that's the gate that they made. I don't know if you recall, this was one with 2 alternatives, and I wanted to,
Can I see that?
oh, this is more
the
beautiful,
existing gate that we're talking
and
about
could you
now?
do this one instead of
And
this one?
this is what was built. It's not exactly like that,
This is just a
but
sample.
that's what was
Is that what's existing right there?
That's what's
Can I see that one?
built now.
Sir?
And the top of the gate is 6'6" off grade, and the posts are
This is
6'8".
This is what they had on their site, and they built that, and they came in and they did that one, which was their so-called standard gate, they said. And I spent $15,000 on this.
Well, I would have them come back and
It can be adjusted. This can be taken off, this can be brought down, that can be cut off,
Can I see that?
right?
I've been really trying to comply. I tell you, I have been absolutely trying to comply. and
Is there
instead of
any
having
way
this,
that those stanchions can come down 6 inches so that the gate can freely swing above the bluestone, the gravel that you have there?
I can talk to the contractor, I don't know if you know Craftsman Fence, which
Yeah, sure.
they are they've been in business for over 40 years.
But they know our codes.
Yes, and then I specifically, because I had been here, talked to them about
Yes.
this, because I wanted
I know.
absolutely to be in code, and they said that that was code, and I would be fine.
Okay. Why don't you go back to them? Tell them that it just didn't fly at the ARB because we just can't do anything for that 6 inches.
So they have to cut the top of, I don't know if it's one.
No, not necessarily. And we're not fence and gate builders, but just looking at these 2 stanchions, perhaps they can be lowered. Take the gate off, reduce the height of the stanchions, and put the gate back on.
So you're
gotta
okay
be
with
close.
the 6'4", is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not going to have a problem going down to 6'2", 6'4". I mean, if we can bring
If
those
the-
down,
if
because
the
he
posts are
needs to
lower.
have
Okay,
some
so just-
clearance
yeah,
on
so
the
just to be
bottom.
clear, if the posts, he takes
Get the-
those down
take those down.
to a lower, replace the
That's
post
practical.
or.
Right. And you have wood posts at the corners of your front gate, which are 8 foot high with a 6 foot fence.
Wood, you mean the deer fence?
Yeah.
The metal, not wood, there's,
No, the wood posts.
The wood posts at each corner are 8 foot high.
oh, and the corner in the front,
Yes, on both corners.
I see.
Cut them down to 6 foot,
Okay, that's
please.
easy.
Right.
Okay, I understand now. So, because there's a deer fence
That
next
is-
to this.
right. That
And
is-
that's metal, of
that's
course.
right.
And then it goes, I don't know, 20 feet or so,
What's the clearance there?
and then it connects.
Is the clearance 6 inches?
It's 6 feet off the ground, 6 inches
6 inches.
to the bottom.
Right, the gate
So
itself is 6
the
feet.
gate is 6 feet.
Correct.
And then there's 6 inches
Okay.
underneath.
Go back, it's their error. They can clean this up for you.
Yeah. And they should, if they told you it's compliant.
They did, because I specifically said, because I don't know if you recall, I
Yes.
had been here twice.
Yes.
And at
Well,
first I
I
didn't
know.
understand the code, and then you know, made it very clear what I had to do. And I said, this is exactly what I need to do, and that's what we did. So just, again, to be clear, that's 6 feet, and that'll be okay if I can get
If
the
they could
post down.
lower that as much as
As much as possible.
Lower the gate. I'm not asking you to cut the gate down.
I understand that. But I
Right.
believe they can lower it 3 inches or something like that. Which, to tell you the truth, one of my daughters has a very small dog. that
Right under.
If it'll serve another purpose if I can go 3
Right
inches.
under.
There we go.
There we go. So
we just-
they should
Win-win.
be able
We
to
just
do
saved
that.
the dog.
Yes.
I mean, if they're a gate company, they should be able to lower that 3 inches and
Yeah.
connect it to a post that's going to be reduced.
Yeah.
Is that the point?
There we go.
Yes.
And then the wood, which is out 20 feet or so, tell them to cut that down.
Do you know what's inside those posts? Is it steel or wood? Is it
Inside the posts.
concrete?
Inside your
Inside
driveway
the
post.
stanchions.
Oh, inside that is
Yeah.
aluminum.
It's aluminum.
Oh, well, on the gate, they told me it's
No.
aluminum.
I'm
Inside.
talking about inside the,
Oh, inside the post, that I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out how they're
Yeah.
gonna cut it down, that's
good-
all.
good
Because
point.
if it's set in concrete, it's gonna be a real problem.
No, they can.
No,
Mr. Rubenstein, other
You're
fence
not
companies have cut them down.
fence guy.
at
Yeah.
direction
Post
of the
gate
board. So
guy.
I wouldn't be
I will
too
talk
worried
to
about
Rudy.
that.
Rudy, you know Rudy Pinka? Yeah. So I will talk to Rudy. Again, I
Okay, so
understand
we
what you're
can't
saying.
give you a CFO until,
I understand.
okay?
Yeah,
You
everything else
understand?
is, I have all these other things held up for this one, so that I'll have this done as soon as I can.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. For Brad Resnikoff, tax map number 300-91-02-20, I don't understand why this is back on. And I suggest that we table this matter until we can find why it's back on for a CLO. For Will,
Why?
Why is this being tabled? Is it not ready?
Didn't we,
Just
wasn't
don't
it
have-
before us for,
just don't have any information as to why he's back on for another CFO.
It wasn't reissued one CO.
did we issue a CO?
Yeah,
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether.
Yes.
we don't know. For Will Meyer, tax map number 300-63-03-04, Peter.
This was, right, I think we'll remember. This, right, on Springs Fireplace Road, right, it.
Oh, yes, yes.
Right. It was built as per our, right, recommendation or approval, and I recommend that we approve it.
Send a memo to the
Send
building
a
department.
memo to the building department that it is ready for a certificate of occupancy.
We have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 For James Hardesty, tax map number 300-80-07-02, Peter.
I don't know why this is back again, but, right, this was, right, I thought we had approved this was,
We did.
right? We approved it last time, right? I don't know why it's back again, but
I know my posts.
I know my blue gates.
So we've already approved it.
We have
We've
it.
already approved it.
So you've already directed the
Yes, I thought
staff
so.
to,
Just, we'll put it back in the file. All right, we have resolutions to sign.
Sheriff, you don't need me.
I don't, and so I thank you very much for your contribution. I really appreciate that. Totally indispensable.
Indispensable. That
For Crystal Muse Group, tax map number 300-188-0205-250 Patio Road in East Hampton. Resolved that the Architectural Review Board hereby approves a 6-foot fence from 5 feet, starting at the northwest corner of the property line and extending southward. The fence would run at 8 feet in height for an additional 65 feet in length for a total of approximately 90 feet until it meets with an existing fence. Fencing installed will be cedar and identical to that erected on the southwest corner of the perimeter adjacent to the tennis court, subject to the following conditions. For Dennis and Carol McCrone, tax map number 300-157-1-12.1, 317 Two Hills of Water Road in East Hampton. Resolved that the Architectural Review Board hereby approves an 8-foot wire black painted deer fence and gate reaching 500 feet total in length, subject to the following conditions. For Damiaki's Farm, Free or Die LLC, care of Balsam Farm LLC, tax map number 300-157-03-1.3, 176 Long Lane in East Hampton. Resolved that the board approves one 160-foot long by 72 inches. Not sure of the writing on
The
this.
foot
It's
was,
gotta
that
be- it's
was,
gotta
I
be
noted,
feet, yeah.
it was feet.
Yes, it was.
And I wrote down as inches.
We can table it and correct it.
Okay, we're going to need to,
Don't you circle that?
yeah.
I mentioned it to Denise.
For Salt Parks, care of Billy Hayjack Land Planning, tax number 300-200-03-27.2, 16 Association Road in Waynescott. Resolved that the board approves the construction, let's, for here on and put in the Architectural Review Board. That's the second one that said that. So if you'd add that and correct it, this one's fine, but for the future, we'll complete the word. Approves the construction of a one-level 20 by 14.6 storage shed totaling 292 square feet to replace a pre-existing shed. Survey prepared by Robert A. Smith Squires, Holden, Weisenbacher, and Smith Land Survey, last revised July 11th, 2016. Specification sheets prepared by Timothy Hines, architect. Again, that's not necessary.
Tell me that.
Got it. For the Lieber Collection, care of Alex Balsam, Dayton, Voorhees, and Balsam, tax map number 300-103-02-4.3, 446 Old Stone Highway in Springs. Resolved that the Architectural Review Board hereby approves the conversion of portion of the existing family residence to a residential museum to include paved ramp for handicapped access, parking, and lighting. For the East Hampton Housing Authority, care of Seymour Schutz, LP, tax map number 300-149-02-56.3, 316 Accabonac Road, East Hampton. Resolved that the Architectural Review Board hereby approves a 275-foot linear deer fencing and 100, not clear, but I know what we're doing. We approved a 275-foot length of deer fencing, a 144 square foot, 12 by 12 by 8 garden shed with no electric or water.
Is the Housing Authority?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Pavilion Hamptons, Fleming and Darrell, PLLSC, tax map number 300-185-02-29, 19 Route 114, East Hampton. Resolved that the Architectural Review Board hereby approves a 6-foot stockade natural cedar fence along the front of the property to be set behind buffer of evergreens 6 feet back from the property line in total length of 100 feet. No keypad to be installed. Just a low motion sensor on each post. Automated entry gate with posts in natural cedar left to be weathered 6 feet in height and 15 feet in length, subject to the following conditions. For Chris and Sylvia Wood, tax map number 300-127-1-11208 Fresh Pond Road in Amagansett. Resolved that the Architectural Review Board hereby approves a pre-existing 6-foot stockade natural fence to be total length of 95.6 feet, subject to the following conditions. For Chris and Carla Concanon, care of Marjorie Hayes, tax map number 300-47-1-12, resolved that
Change to commercial.
it's changed, but I don't have an address. I don't have a property address.
Yeah,
It's only a mailing address.
right.
Okay. Going to need a property address added to this resolution. For David Zander, care of Joel Halsey, tax map number 300-32-06-02, 153 DeForest Road in Montauk. Resolved that the board approved to construct a 462.72 square foot single-story addition to the north side of the residence with 467.6 deck and 59.34 steps from deck. I'm not sure of this. Did you read this?
It didn't come through on the emails, but the only thing that we pushed this back from last week was the word north instead of back. Remember, it was
Right.
addition to the back and the north. So I don't know what we're getting, you know.
I see.
That should have been the only change.
All right, it does say north side of the residence
Right.
with 467.6 deck and 59.34 steps from the, I just don't understand 5934.
No, I don't either. And we don't have any of the paperwork here that we could
No.
look at it.
No. Okay, could you review that and clarify what that means?
Yes, let's confirm that one with Denise.
Okay. I'd like to make a
Maybe
motion
it
to...
should be square feet instead of steps.
Yeah, it could be.
It could have been just
It
like
could have
that.
been.
We had somebody arrive.
Yeah, I apologize for being late. It took me 5 hours to get here from New Jersey.
Come on up here.
Okay. My name is Allison Kessler.
You're Allison Kessler, okay,
Yes.
fine, great. Ed Joyce, welcome to this.
I found this. That was yours. Thank you.
Sure.
Do you need a paper clip? Okay.
Which one is this?
44 Orkney.
This has a number of problems.
Okay.
This is like the previous one we had that has a tremendous amount of front road frontage.
Right.
And this is showing a picture of the property towards the house itself. This is towards the right as you face the house. And this is a picture taken towards the left. I'm sorry, this is a picture of the gate, the secondary gate, I think.
So it's a circular drive, so, and first of all, I apologize for doing this the wrong way. I didn't know that I should have known, but I didn't, that I was supposed to come here first, so I'm trying to do the right thing. It's a circular drive, and so we put up a gate on each circular drive, and we are overrun with deer. Anytime we have 10, 15 deer on our property, and I got Lyme, I got Babesiosa, and we don't have a backyard, so I didn't know of any other way to,
So the property is 100% fenced in at the present time?
yeah, this fencing was already here.
Is that your fence?
No. It's actually a couple of different fences
Okay.
but each lot has put up fences. And so I had put up a fence here with the gates and like this, and then along the property line. Our neighbor feeds the deer.
Okay, this is your fence here,
Yes.
which is off the property?
Yes.
I see that now that I went back and got.
Okay.
And this is the picture that you're indicating. This is the gate that's there. This needs to be cut off.
This faces two different roads
Yes,
also.
yes, yeah.
We're a corner.
How high are the gates?
So
The gates are 6 feet, 3 to 4 inches off the ground, depending on the grade, and the fence is 7 feet, 8 to 10 inches off the ground.
In the front yard?
Yes.
So
The
it's,
problem is, oops, we don't have an attorney.
it's actually 6
Two front
feet, but
yards.
Pardon me?
it's technically, the fencing itself is 6 feet, and then there's like a wire.
You have 2 wires on top of that,
Yeah.
and that counts.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was given bad information.
Yeah, no. Well, I was there and I
Okay,
measured
okay,
it.
okay.
I'm not great at taking
No,
notes.
no, I trust that, I was just given
another
bad.
pie-shaped
I was
line.
given bad
Yeah,
information.
it's actually the ones on the other end of the street.
Exactly, yeah, no, I know, I know.
Same
I know this-
problem exactly.
I live nearby, actually.
Oh,
I
okay.
know where you are exactly.
Well, first of all, you're not supposed to fence the entire property.
Okay.
And then, of course, the fence facing the street is,
Well, she's saying that this
It's
fence
not her
is
property.
not hers.
Right.
Correct.
Fence, it's the neighbor's. What about the fence along here? Is that yours?
Yes, so
And this is 8 feet?
it's all the same. It's this, I don't know if you can, I'm sorry, let me see if
Actually,
there's
I think you
a,
can see it on these here.
actually, the fence, no, the fence is 7 feet, and it's like 8 to 10 inches, varies. It's
really,
not 8, but it's more than 7, let's put it that way.
there's these wires here underneath. Here's the fencing, the mesh or whatever, wire
Yeah,
fencing. And then the post continues up, and there's these like guide wires.
Okay, so it's 8 feet.
Okay. I didn't measure the height.
It's
I
just
didn't-
under 8 feet, it's like 7 feet, 8 to
Okay.
10 inches.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
Well, the first thing you have to do is move this back onto your property.
Okay.
What about reducing some of the coverage?
Well, we have to reduce that, but I'm trying to figure out also, because there are 2 roads, and this is a pie, how the best way to work this is. It's really difficult.
It is difficult. What area of the yard do you use?
Mostly we use this area I have 3 young children and they like to play, you know.
Okay, so-
Yeah, because we don't have a backyard, and then we have this shed, which I'm separately, and with this is just sort of natural.
So this has to come down to 6 feet.
So here's a general picture of that
Yeah.
corner
Is-
here.
So
Yeah, I'm
I
familiar with
can't,
that.
so what you're saying is I have to take those guide wires off? Is that what I can do, or?
That would bring it down to 6 feet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it would.
Okay.
My concern is both of these corners.
think we have to take into account the unusual circumstance of the shape of
That's
the lot.
correct.
There's no question about it.
That's right.
Right, and we need to allow, for some reasonable amount of lawn to be enclosed.
Thank you.
It's just where is the question.
Well, this is the other side. This is this side over here. You see, there's no lawn there.
Right.
So it's almost like you want to say,
Draw me a line. Okay. Because you've been on the property, you understand the property. Where we could bring this fence in to give some, there's a stockade fence over here. How tall is that fence?
That's 6 feet.
That's 6 feet over here?
and that's the neighbor's fence, did you say?
That's fine, no, that's good.
That's this,
Okay.
that's this fence here. See, and this is the post that goes to 8.
That's the neighbor's fence?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they gave you the wrong
Yeah.
side.
Sure did.
They did.
Oh, that's true,
Listen.
yeah.
What if we went off of this corner of the house this way? Right? The front is, I'm still struggling with what to do here, but
Yeah,
if
but
you-
you see, this is where the deck is here.
Right, yeah, that's the backyard deck. The back deck. There's no, there's nothing to play over here. This is all just brush and whatnot.
right, but it's, right, yeah. So
And if-
there's no,
If you did a fence here, and, I mean, this is the area that you're using
yeah.
on it. If you did that, right, connected this to here, right, and then, right, here,
How far is this off the ground, this deck?
You don't go underneath it. It's, I mean, I'm sure somebody could go
It's a
in-
step or two.
It's a couple of steps up, yeah. Maybe it's 3 steps or, I'm sorry,
Well, I'm wondering if we even need this to be fenced.
you mean the driveway?
Could it just be this?
I mean.
Could it just be
if-
this?
Think for a moment, if you had a fence here and a fence here, and this
Yeah.
area was enclosed.
Would be protected then?
Would be protected, would that,
I understand what you're saying. I do think it would look aesthetically, it would look odd in the neighborhood to have, it would look like a pen. I think it would look odd.
This corner is very exposed.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It is.
The other thing is the grade falls off going down this way too.
If we just incorporated then the driveway area and the gates into that scheme, just extend it this way and leave this open.
That would work.
Can I
You're
understand?
not losing anything, because this area.
It's all
here.
brush.
it's all brush.
So if you kind of came this way,
Draw a line.
Just show me, just so that I understand.
well, this is,
I think the red pen.
Red pen.
Red pen.
Gotta break out the red pen.
if we went like this and to here, right? And then, where were we talking about? This way? Was that kind of our?
Think that way, because, I mean, all of this is brush.
I think you have to come back here though.
I think you do to this corner of the
Yeah,
deck,
so you should
probably.
do it.
Yeah. And then,
Right, and then this, yeah. With your gates.
looks like, not quite 50%, but I think with an odd
it's
piece of
something.
With this odd piece of property,
How
yeah.
far are those gates off the road?
Both gates approximately 13 feet from the edge of the pavement. They're not automatic gates, they're manual gates.
Really, they're only 13 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are they supposed to be?
20. An emergency vehicle's got to fit off the road into your driveway itself, so before
Without
the gate
blocking.
blocks.
Okay,
But the thing is, they're not electric gates, so they could open the gate.
right.
right. There's no lock on them. It's not meant for people, it's just,
You're the postman.
the mailbox is on the outside.
I think he means more like a fire truck.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Make a motion.
Be gentle.
We're tired too.
Okay, how are we're gonna let the gates go then?
We're going to let the gates go. We're going to move that fence in.
Okay, I think I should make a motion that we approve it as drawn in red on the survey.
Okay.
And I would like to add that the gates are both manual, and should they become electrified, then it would have to be changed.
And the height?
Very good.
That's fine.
The height was 6 foot.
And the height has to be reduced to 6 feet.
So let's remove those, I have to remove those guide wires, which I think.
And cut the post down.
I have to cut the post down,
Yeah.
okay.
So can we say it again what we're approving? Can I get a second?
Okay, I guess I need a second.
Yes. Why don't you repeat it first?
Repeat what you're doing.
I don't think I can.
Okay.
Okay,
We are
okay.
approving the removal of the fence in the front yard facing Orkney Road with the addition of new fence on the far side of the driveway connecting to the corner of the deck. We are approving the gates at 13 feet, not electrified, and if they are electrified, then you'll have to come back for approval.
Okay.
We're removing the 2 additional feet of guide wire that are above the 6-foot limits along Orkney or Isle of Wight, reducing the height of the fence to 6 feet. And if any remaining part of that fence is off of your property, it needs to come onto your property. I don't know where this point is, but it is indicating
Where you're on the
here.
road right away.
Okay, I
You
just
need
want
to be on your property.
So,
It's just right along.
oh, okay, so frontage, okay.
Yeah.
Move
You
frontage
see-
between the gates.
See, this shows the fence right here, if you follow my finger.
Yep.
Goes right along there,
So now,
and then comes back in.
so here's this gate right here.
Right.
So,
Actually, you're gonna have to move that gate back, yeah.
The gate
Yes.
should be,
Actually,
On
both
your
of them,
property.
both of them are on, they both have to be on the property, they both have to be moved back.
Okay, since they've got to come back, they've got to come back to 20 feet. They've got to be on your property, obviously,
I
and they
think
should
that's a
come
good-
back to 20
I
feet.
think that's a good idea, yeah.
Let's revise that, Nora.
I was gonna say, can we repeat that all over again then?
Your turn.
based on that last comment, I would say, right, it's going to be a lot easier to eliminate the gate. I don't know what enclosing this is, right, and just bring a fence
Yeah, you're right.
along
You're
there.
right. You're right.
so
Where are you saying?
again,
Peter?
my
I'm
concern
saying
about that.
right now, this gate and this gate
They're
are not on the
superfluous.
property. By the time you move it back the 20 feet to there and there on it, wouldn't it be just easier to,
I think knowing, I actually ride my bike past this house virtually
Right.
every day. I think your point about it kind of feeling like kind of a pen, because of the way the grade drops down, is sort of, well, in a practical sense, you're right. But I think it would be more interesting to have it enclosed from this point.
From an aesthetic perspective, I actually think my neighbors are going to be upset if in addition to me, I think my neighbors would be very unhappy if I created something that looked like a pen right by their.
And it would.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, thank
But I
you.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah. In a
Yeah.
practical
Yeah.
sense, I totally understand. But
Actually, I think by the time you move this gate back to the property line, you're gonna be 20 feet from the street anyway. Now, this one is not, that's not gonna be the case.
Okay, so,
I think given the circumstances, let's just sort of agree to move it onto the property line.
Yeah,
I think
I agree with
if
that.
it's 16 feet, whatever it winds up
Yeah,
being,
yeah,
it's
good.
fine.
And this one, though, is right on the line, or maybe a foot off.
So both gates will come back onto the property line.
Right.
Can I move, is it possible, since this one is so close, does this one still need to be moved?
If it's not on your property,
Okay.
it has to be.
Understood, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, so from what I understand, I'm gonna move, I'm lowering the fencing in general.
To 6
Remove-
feet.
6 feet and cutting down the posts. Moving the gate onto my property so that it's not off my property.
Both gates.
The gates and any fencing that's
Not on the
not on the property will go on to the property. And,
Reducing to 6 feet the height of the
oh, yeah,
fence.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what-
the whole shebang, it's a technical term. I'm gonna remove this part of the fence here
Correct.
and instead bring it down.
To the other side of the driveway,
So let
to
me.
the corner of the house.
So let me ask you, and this is not something I want to do today, and obviously I would come to you guys in advance, but in the future, I don't have a garage, and I would like to, at some point, I want to retire out here. And I can't imagine living out here year-round without having a garage.
Where are you gonna put the bicycles?
I was hoping, bicycles are in the house right now, sadly. At some point in some acceptable area over here, I would want to put the garage. In the future, how would that impact the way that we're doing this now and my ability to?
We're not here to guide you
Okay,
on that.
okay, all right,
Well,
all right.
I mean, it's a question of whether you want to do an attached garage.
No, I think it would be a detached, because you can only have a one-car garage when it's attached, is that correct?
Okay,
we don't.
we need to stick to our.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking ahead.
You've got, I think there's plenty of opportunity
Yeah.
to do what you want.
Yes.
Okay,
With the fencing as it is.
okay, all right, so I move this
Are you
around
clear?
here.
We're gonna
And then-
say it all again for the record,
And
Okay.
take this off. and go-
unfortunately.
Okay.
I need a first and a second.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve this application with the following conditions. That the fence that's along the street be relocated to, on the property line, or inside of the property line, let's put it that way. And that a fence will be taken down. How are we gonna say this?
To the left of the driveway.
Where's the north edge?
Can we just refer to that drawing?
Well, that's what I did initially.
Okay.
And that didn't seem to hold muster.
From the south edge of the driveway, this is north.
Yeah.
From the south edge of the driveway to
Okay,
the
between
south
the
property
fence here, this fence will be removed on the street, and a new fence will be constructed along the edge of the
I'm just
driveway
gonna mark
to the
this
corner of
here.
the house.
From here to here,
Is removed.
removed.
And then you would would follow the driveway and then connect up to the house.
Got it.
And on the back side, we're going to connect from the wooden deck northwest to the nearest property line from that corner. And this is all set, right?
That's nothing to do with it.
Okay.
That's already there.
Yeah.
Now,
Would you
And
initial
then,
that?
also all of the posts will be cut down to 8 to 6 feet, and all of the wires above 6 feet will be removed.
yes. Now,
Is there anything else?
I just, what was my question? Well, first of all, I'm gonna take a picture of this.
But initially, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. But, so I'm gonna need to put in some gates, those just garden gates that are part of the fencing, because I'm gonna have to be able to, like, put one of those metal
Just to
gates right
access
here,
that
yeah.
area.
And I'm gonna need some sort of, I gotta get.
You need some access in there too, yeah.
So do I need to get approval to have those
No, but
gates on the?
let's get an idea of where you want to put them, right on the survey, since we've marked this
Okay.
up.
I wanna put a gate in this area right here.
Okay.
And then,
Just mark it. There you go.
Good?
and then I'm gonna wanna put a gate, in order to access this shed.
I do it right here.
Right here, yeah.
Okay,
Right by the
okay,
house.
right, where I have that little,
Right.
okay. Okay.
It's great. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you for,
We need that
Yeah.
to take your pictures.
yeah, I know.
Yes, I do know.
Did it really take 5 hours to get here?
There
Thank you.
was a fatal a double fatality accident on Route 22 in New Jersey. It's a highway, and some people were running across the highway, and they got hit by a van, and I was south of it. I mean, it's horrible. It kept me there for a long time, and then by the time I was able to get towards New York and Long Island, I was then in rush hour. So,
It's been a long day.
but I'm okay.
Thank you for coming.
Well,
Okay.
thank you for,
Okay, I need that survey.
That's the
back.
treacherous highway, Route 22. Where were you coming from?
from Bridgewater. I work down there, so,
Okay.
I live.
I'm from there.
Oh, from Bridgewater?
Yeah, well, next town over, yeah.
Oh, okay, I live in Westfield.
Okay.
So, but I've
Oh,
been
well.
coming to the Hamptons my whole life, and we bought this house about, how many years ago? 12 years ago.
Great.
It's part of our retirement.
Oh, Richard, I get that over.
Love it out
Got it.
there.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you,
Thank you.
everybody, and have a good evening.
Thank you for persevering.
I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting. With a second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
A hearty aye.
Aye, hearty aye.